Hello everybody, this is Jack from tofluency.com, and today Rodrigo and I are going to have a debate.
A debate?
Yeah. We are going to talk about, and we're going to debate who is better out of Messi and Ronaldo. And this is an opportunity for you to listen to natural English, and I'll leave all the phrases that we use in the description too. But first, Rodrigo is one of my good friends here in Asheville, and he is on the soccer team too. So we talk soccer a lot, we play together, and we often talk about Ronaldo versus Messi.
I think anybody who enjoys soccer has this conversation. At least for our generation, they're the natural who's one, who's number two.
Yeah.
I'm obviously, as we've talked about often, a big Ronaldo fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Messi's great and he's been really good, but I don't think he overcomes Ronaldo.
Yeah. Whereas I'm a big Ronaldo fan, but I see Messi as a level above.
I wonder, though, oftentimes most people, I think that. And I think it's also has a lot to do with Ronaldo's personality.
That is one thing. So,
which I don't think should be taken into account.
I agree. I think because people perceive Ronaldo to be quite single-minded, quite selfish on the pitch at times.
Yeah.
Whereas Messi is more reserved, and he's seen more as a team player, I feel.
I think he just doesn't have very much personality.
No.
Like, Ronaldo has personality. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. If he's happy, everybody knows it. Mm-hmm. If he's sad or angry, everybody knows it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I guess I personally enjoy that. I want to feel that energy or that excitement.
Yeah. He does bring that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is what do you do outside of the club matters a lot. Mm-hmm. Because especially when you play at these super clubs, you're surrounded by so much talent. And when you get into that conversation of who's the greatest of all time or who's the greatest of our generation, if they're that good, if you're going to have them in that conversation, they really need to raise the level of play around them. Mm-hmm. And be able to shine in less than ideal circumstances.
So do you place Ronaldo and Messi above players such as Zidane?
It's a little challenging because Zidane, I only watched him a little bit in the 98 World Cup, which was kind of on the back end of his career. And I was 8 years old, and so it wasn't like I had a ton of exposure to him. But I would say that maybe a better comparison for me is like Beckham.
Yeah.
Because I saw him play live one time when he was still with Real Madrid, and I would say, I would raise them above that because I think they've had a greater influence on the game, and I guess, of course, I'm biased. I'm way more familiar with them.
Yeah, and their stats are just
insane.
Out of this world. You can't compare their stats to any other player because it's just head and shoulders above what others have done recently. So, especially because Ronaldo, when he first came to England, he was very flashy.
Yes.
And people talked about how he had no end product. Mm-hmm. He couldn't provide that final cross, he couldn't score a goal. And then there's an interview with Gary Neville. Do you know Gary Neville?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he talked about, he just came back over the summer and he was a completely different player. He was an animal. And that's when he started to just score all the time and provide goals.
I think that's one of my favorite things about Ronaldo and why I really think it puts him above Messi is Ronaldo has shown that he can change and adapt his style of play to what's needed or expected on him in different teams and in different stages of his career. If you talk about Ronaldo, he used to be the speed guy, and now he's become the clinical finisher now that he's lost some of that speed. And we've seen him have incredible careers in Portugal, England, Spain, and even now in Italy. I mean, that's really impressive, and not to mention everything he's done with Portugal. And at the national level, I think that's where you even have a bigger separation because I think there are less big name players on the Portuguese soccer team than there are on the Argentinian soccer team. And yet, the difference of quality and what they mean to those teams is completely different.
Whereas I see because Ronaldo has done it at the international level. He won the European Championships.
Mm-hmm.
He did come off injured early on in that game. But
that is actually, I think, one of his greatest, arguably one of the most important things. If you saw him that game, he was the most passionate player on the field, even though he was on the bench. And that was incredible.
Yep. I know he was cheering the team on. He was passionate behind them.
His influence was still felt on the game.
But that Portuguese team was quite negative, and they built a very solid team structure where Ronaldo put on the finishing touches. Whereas I feel with Messi in Argentina, it's just been a mess over the last 6-7 years, where they try and put in all these players without any type of strategy in place. Agreed
wholeheartedly, but then how many times have you heard these articles or things where, when he made this, Ronaldo has this new coach, I forgot his name right now, it's Sarri, I think, right?
Yeah.
Sarri went and talked to Ronaldo ahead of time to quote unquote get signed off on the move. And why? Because Ronaldo's not just going to sit by and let things happen around him. He's going to be very aggressive and being no, if I'm on this team, we're going to do well. And so it's almost like Sarri had to make sure he had buy-in from Ronaldo, because if Ronaldo would agree to whatever Sarri's doing, the rest of the team's going to follow. You never hear about this from Messi. The chaos that's happened on the Argentinian national team. Could you envision that being the case if Ronaldo was there? There's no way.
Oh, I think it would be.
He would just say, screw the coach, and just say, all right, you guys listen to me. This is how we're playing. And people would listen, and they would do what he says.
Well, I feel that's a hypothetical that you couldn't ever test. And I've seen this so many times over the years with Argentina, where they don't have any strategy. They'll just put up their 3 players up front, and it's just chaos. And it seems like they're always playing scared. That team. And you're from being from South America, the history with Argentina.
It is crazy. They've always been one of the giants there, but a very underperforming giant.
Yeah. All right, so let's just talk about them as individual players, and we can look at different parts of the game and say which one is better.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with an easy one.
Okay.
For Ronaldo, heading.
Oh, well. When you've got, 6 to 8 inches of height, you better win that one.
He is one of the best headers of the ball I've seen. He is incredible. Although there is a clip of Real Madrid and Barcelona playing and Messi out jumping Ronaldo. Everyone likes to look at that.
Messi.
Okay, so heading without a doubt. This is an interesting one, finishing.
I would probably... Well, that is a tough one.
Who would you trust with a one-on-one with the goalkeeper more? Because to me, that's easy.
Yeah, I would probably say Messi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say it's easy, but I would say, I would default to Messi being the better finisher.
Free kicks?
I don't think either of them are particularly great at that.
Last season, his stats were unreal.
But that was an aberration a little bit, wouldn't you agree?
Or it might be the new normal. You
Fair
never
enough.
know. I'd say penalties, Ronaldo. Messi has this habit of missing them.
For the national team in big moments.
Well, we'll have to look at that. He misses a lot of penalties for Barcelona in the regular season.
No, a lot of the reasons they've been knocked out has been his inability to finish penalties when they've been needed to at international competitions. But that's a different...
Yep.
So penalties, Ronaldo's better,
Yeah. I don't like the term natural ability, but in terms of...
I think natural ability, it's Messi.
Yeah. Well, in terms of who who has the most amount of grace and flair and skill when they're running with the ball?
It's Ronaldo, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, that's where I really disagree.
Because, like, I think Ronaldo, I don't know. Like, I think, well, it's running with the ball. Like, in confined spaces, Messi looks better because he's smaller. He can maneuver. But if you're talking, like, running with the ball, onto the ball, I feel like Ronaldo looks way smoother.
Well,
he's got the size, that stride.
Well, Ronaldo has that strength and power when he runs, and you don't want him running directly at you.
No.
Whereas Messi, I mean, it's very rare that you'll see a Ronaldo go where he takes on 6 players.
Right.
He'll take on one and smash it in the corner. Whereas Messi, there are so many goals where he's like ding, 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 nutmegs.
Right, but that's what I would just say is differing, and that's maybe just how you're defining it is running with the ball is very different than like dribbling in confined spaces, which is Messi's one of his best strengths probably.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
And then, but if you think like somebody running onto the ball, like that never happens for Messi almost. He's too small to like run onto the ball and like beat somebody with speed on the side.
Passing ability and creativity.
Ronaldo.
Oh, that's just easy Messi. It's an easy Messi pick.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Messi is a player who will drop deep and find that perfect pass. Ronaldo, in his old career, before he moved to the number 9 position, he would put in a good cross.
Right.
But then that soon changed to always cutting inside and shooting.
Right, but so we're talking about like assists,
creativity, passing.
Like creativity outside of assists. Like I feel like Ronaldo opens up a lot of things, plays people, not necessarily like if he's within the goal, he's going to go for goal. But if he's like in a position where shooting on a goal isn't really possible, I feel like he opens things up more, passes the ball more creatively, no look, stuff like that.
This is why I want to ask everyone who is more creative out of Ronaldo and Messi, because for me it's just an easy pick. That's a Messi. Yeah. Or just like the little left foot dinks and sliding people in. And I think if you look at the stats he has, that's where he is definitely ahead in terms of stats when it comes to assists.
I don't know what the stats are, so the numbers should speak for themselves then.
I feel this one is an easy Ronaldo pick, and it's work rate.
Oh, yeah. And so on that one, maybe this is another. It's like who's had a better evolution as a player?
A better what?
Evolution as a player.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the things about that is Messi is still 2-3 years younger than Ronaldo, and Ronaldo was still playing his game 2 or 3 years ago. And last season, you saw Messi drop in deeper and dictating play. So he has gone from that false 9 that he always played to a more deeper creative position. And there's one game against Tottenham in the Champions League.
That was his like mantelpiece game.
He just did everything. So I think the jury's still out on that one.
What about leadership? Who would you prefer to be captaining your team?
I'd probably say Ronaldo, although I do feel at times he gets mad with the players for not passing him the ball. And like when there are so many clips of when someone else has scored for Real Madrid and he seems down because he didn't get that goal. Yeah.
I think that's a valid concern. I sometimes wonder how much of that is built up by the media, again, just because of his personality. Going back to the whole thing, and we can come back to the comparisons, but when you're looking at like the main reason I put Ronaldo above Messi is that leadership component. I think that if you're talking about greatest of all time, greatest of our generation, like that part can't be excluded.
Yeah. And your big thing about Ronaldo is the big moments.
He shows up, shines.
I think they both do. And the international stage, I'm not I'm not convinced about how much of a role that plays in their career.
Yeah, and I think if you take the international out of it, I'd see why I would probably say Messi's the better player.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the international rule isn't more important than the club, because it's not, but I think it really shows light on how good they really are. Because Messi, we've only seen him at Barcelona surrounded by the best talent ever.
Except for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Because that's when Xavi and Iniesta and those types of players moved on. And Suarez had struggled last year. But Messi he won the league for Barcelona last year.
True, but we're talking about generational midfield talent that left. It's not like he still doesn't have good talent around him.
Mm-hmm.
And, yes, Suarez wasn't very good, but the year before that, Neymar was beside him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I think it's interesting, is when you look 2 really incredible players, pull them out of their traditional element, and who's going to do better? I think historically we've seen Ronaldo does better outside of his clubs, and I think that's telling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I think that's a really good point, and that is definitely a big argument for Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they could play in the same team together?
I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could, right?
I think they'd kill it.
Well, they would be amazing. Do you think that they would?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think that they would team up?
Yeah.
Man, I hope we see that happen. That would be incredible.
I'd love to see it happen.
Yeah.
I think it would be. I think they would do really well, especially at this stage of their career, where Ronaldo would play that striker role.
Yeah.
And Messi would just be off him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If that ever happens, that would be special.
Yeah.
There's no way that ever happens, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
There's been stars that played together, but Messi's never leaving Barcelona.
I don't see him leaving anytime soon.
If he leaves, it's going to be to go to the MLS or something like that.
That'd be amazing if he came.
But it'd be very similar to what Zlatan did. He's like, I'm going to go there to retire.
Yeah.
He's not playing seriously.
No. No. And he had a really good season for Man United the year he left.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's a different level completely.
It'd be great if they ever played together. That'd be very cool. One other thing,
yes.
I think that Ronaldo leaving Real Madrid speaks to the type of player who he is. He's like, I'm leaving something that's super comfortable, and I'm gonna go find a new challenge, go win another trophy in a different league.
Mm-hmm.
That's how do you not want that from that is, I don't know.
Well, he also fell out with the president.
True.
And I don't know how much of that was him trying to prove himself, but he did prove himself in Italy.
Yeah, and I think year number 2, it's going to be an even more bigger jump, even more of a dominant performance.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
I'm really excited, yeah.
And where would you place Ronaldo and Messi in the greatest of all time? Now, we did talk about this and we said, it's so hard for us to talk, to place someone there, because we haven't seen these players
play. And the game's changed so much, too.
Yeah. But we can still try.
I think they're both top 10 for sure, right? I think we'd agree with that.
Yes.
I think the question is, do they both make it into the top 5? Probably they both make it into the top 5.
Yeah.
I don't know what my personal, but it gets credit, right? Because you're going to get Pele, right? Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, and then who's the 5th?
Tom Finney. Sir Tom Finney.
Tommy Lawton passes to Preston's Tom Finney, who slams it into the net.
Fair enough. Not super familiar with him. It's your English roots coming out, eh?
Yeah.
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 I don't know, would you take any of them out for somebody else?
No, I don't think so. And I always feel as well, because when you talk about the greatest player, we're always talking about strikers and forwards. You never put a defender in there, because you could argue Maldini is top 5. from what I've seen of him.
Yeah.
You can argue a goalkeeper as well.
Well, I mean, like Oliver Kahn.
I wouldn't say him.
Oh man, he was like, all right, fine,
He's German.
Yeah, he was awesome. I don't know. I played keeper growing up, and he was because he was a shorter keeper too.
Yeah.
And so,
for me, it's Schmeichel.
I don't know who Schmeichel is.
You don't know Schmeichel?
I don't know Schmeichel.
The 90s, Man United.
Oh. See, yeah, I mean, I don't know. In the 90s, I wasn't doing much of anything.
Yeah. How old are you?
29.
29.
Yeah,
right.
I'm a 90s baby, so
yeah,
most of my soccer is like late 90s to the present.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
I'd be interested to know what everyone else thinks. And who do you think is the greatest of all time? And also, who's better out of Messi and Ronaldo?
And I have a question. Greatest non-scoring midfielder, like non-attacking. Like I think like Iniesta is probably one of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Just that guy, what he's done is incredible. And yeah, but he never really scored a lot of goals just because of where he played.
Yeah. For me, I'd say Zidane.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Zidane live.
Oh, cool.
In the same team as Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
And Beckham really surprised me. Just his range of passing. I think he was very underrated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could just put the ball from anywhere on the field with like his hand and be like, I'm going to move it over there.
He played for Preston, you know.
Yeah, that's right. I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah, played 5 games, scored 2 goals, a free kick, and another one direct from a corner.
Crazy.
And everyone knew he was going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You could tell. Well, good. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Rodrigo.
thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah.
Stir the pot in the soccer world, right?
Exactly. People have asked for these soccer videos, so here you go. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please like and share it. And check out the description for some of the phrases that we used in this video. I think we used a few football cliches, which is good.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.
Have a good one.